Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Stockertim. Welcome to Stockertim, the investors channel. IPOs seems to actually have made a comeback into the market. IPO, initial public offering, the first time when a company becomes public by raising funds and they become publicly traded. That is the meaning of an IPO. And it seems on Wall Street, in the US stock market, a lot of companies are now very, very confident that they can raise funds and become publicly traded instead of remaining in the shadows, being a private company. That has a lot of advantages but a whole lot of disadvantages as well. And being a public company, you open yourself to more scrutiny, you open yourself to more involvement, but you also benefit by being able to raise capital in a more cheaper way in the medium to long term, and you are also able to get a broader view of your business, and your business can also scale beyond when you're actually a private company. So on this episode, I'll be talking about IPOs. What should you be doing? Because we've covered most of this IPO. We've actually talked about why you should be cautious, what you should think about before buying any of them. But we want to look at them holistically on this episode so that you can actually get a broader view of what is going on in the IPO part of the stock market. So every information shared on this channel, as a disclaimer, is for education and information purpose only. Do your due diligence or consult your financial advisor before making any decision. Also, please like this video. We really appreciate every support we've been getting. Also, please don't forget to subscribe, put on the notification bell so that you don't miss the next episode. So let's jump right in. So in the last 1 month, or let's say in the last 2 months, we've seen a resurgence of companies actually listing on the US stock market. As a matter of fact, last week we had Chime, which is majorly a payments company. It's not a bank. They majorly serve as a payment service platform, which a whole lot of their customers can also use them as more or less like a bank account of sort. But Chime is not necessarily a bank because they don't have a banking license. They don't also offer the likes of mortgages, fixed income investing. They don't also offer, credit cards and all that. They basically make money from interchange, payment processing fees. We also had MNTN about 3 weeks ago. MNTN is actually a digital on-demand video advertising platform. Basically, all the not just YouTube, but any streaming platform that you watch content. MNTN, which is Mountain, actually allows advertisers to target audiences using AI solutions on their platform to actually target in a better, smarter way. We had Circle, which is more or less a crypto platform. They've listed. So Circle is the owner or the listing company behind USDC, which is more or less the USD version, US dollar version of a crypto token. So it is backed 1-for-1. So for every USDC issued, there is a dollar backing it. And so crypto traders, crypto investors, Bitcoin traders, people who invest in the crypto ecosystem, blockchain ecosystem, they understand what the advantages of having a stable coin. Because if you perhaps maybe you've sold your Bitcoin and you don't want to keep it in Bitcoin for the meantime or for foreseeable future, you can basically convert it into a USDC or a USDT, which is a competitor to USDC, and it will be denominated in dollars and is backed by actual US dollar. So we had eToro as well. eToro, the trading and investment platform, they've been in the market. eToro has been trading for more than 15 years, if my memory serves me right. And now they are now public. We also had Weibo, another trading and investment platform, focusing more in Asia. They are also in the US and in Europe as well. We had Hyro Holdings, which is more or less like a defense equipment drone maker, eVTOL, for the defense ecosystem. They also listed last week. We had CoreWeave, which is very, very interesting. CoreWeave, an AI data center platform, basically companies who want to leverage, who want to actually deploy AI, and they need infrastructure behind it. CoreWeave actually offers, the GPUs from NVIDIA for investors to actually list. We had Venture Global, which actually listed a bit further than now, but they are still an IPO stock. They actually listed, this year. And Venture Global, really, they are a natural gas company. So that's basically some of the most popular and if not the most interesting IPOs we've had. Some of them have done so well, some not so well. Some of them did very well and they came back crashing down, while some are still going higher and higher. And I'm going to show you the chart, as in our tradition. So if you have watched this video this far, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, because more people will actually see this video, because it will be very, very beneficial. So now, the next thing I will want us to think about is, if you look at this company in front of you, many of these companies are companies that have been trading, they've been in business for 10, 15, some of them even almost 20 years, while some of them are still very new, like Mountain. I think Mountain is less than 6 years, if my memory serves me right. And so, why did they come to the market this time around? Why are they raising funds? Why are they now publicly trading? So before I go to the charts, at the beginning of the video, I said, being a private company has advantage, but it has a lot of disadvantage. But being a public company, despite the fact that you also open yourself to more scrutiny, you open yourself to more broader view of how things actually play out in terms of how you run the business, the people who are on your board, if the person who is even your CEO, you also gain by being able to raise funds in a cheaper way, because despite the fact that you can raise funds, privately by, approaching private investors, private equity firms, angel investors, being a public company makes it easier for you to raise funds from anybody, especially when you are coming into the market. You are also able to run a business that is more diversified in terms of the likes of talent you can approach, talent you can attract. You are also able to grow the business because more ideas, more opportunities. You also have a whole lot of leverage, because a company that is publicly listed, the standard is very, very strong, or even better. And so at the end of the day, if you are able to withstand the scrutiny for the next 3, 10, 15 years down the line, public companies are more trusted, even with suppliers, even with creditors. Public companies tend to have that confidence for people to want to do business with them. So these are some of the advantages, and sometimes the advantages might also be a disadvantage for some companies. So like I said, these companies, why do they come out this time? Because the time is now for the market to recover. We've had the Trump tariff, which has really battered the market, but the market has really, really recovered. The S&P 500 is now almost trading at about 2% gain, for the year. The Nasdaq 100 is now over 3%, going to 4%. So these companies are coming out because the market is now a bit more positive, despite the fact that we just, not for us to forget to mention the war going on between Israel and Iran, the Gaza and Ukraine and Russia. All of these crises are still there, and Iran, Israel is a new one. And so will this actually affect these companies if this crisis go out of hand? Are these companies actually prepared? Are these IPO stocks prepared to actually weather the storm? or if we don't have a de-escalation, will the market actually go red? And what happens to these companies? That's why I asked that question. Why are these companies coming out now? Are they able to actually face the scrutiny and also the uncertainty in the market? So let's go to the chart, and we are actually going to see what exactly is going on with any of these IPO stocks. So as you can see CoreWeave, which I actually highlighted. CoreWeave seems to be leading the pack in terms of performance of IPO. But please hold on to that thought when I mean performance of the IPO stocks, because if you think this is how it's going to play out, uh, you know, at least in the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years down the line, you might be open for a shock up. So let's go to the next one. We had Weibo. Weibo, you can see the yellow chart, the yellow line. It went into the sky almost over 500%, and Weibo has come back down. We had eToro, which is neither here nor there. We had every other IPOs, the denominator as well as being, except for maybe MNTN, except for even Venture Global, even eToro, all of them went straight into the sky, and they seem to have started getting to a point where they are now retracing their steps. Now, so what is going on with CoreWeave? CoreWeave seems to actually be playing on the AI boom, AI hype. Uh, that doesn't mean CoreWeave is a hype. That actually means that IPOs are not necessarily a period where you want to jump into a stock. IPOs are a period where you want to buy some of these stocks in a more cautious way, even if you have to buy. So, for instance, Weibo, for some of our premium community members, Weibo, we've actually been able to advise customers, community members on how to actually leverage Weibo, especially the fact that Weibo has gone into the sky and it has really, really faced the reality check. CoreWeave is still going to face its reality check for so many reasons. IPO stock are stocks that the earlier investors will actually not be able to sell their stock until about oftentimes 3 months or 6 months, depending on the agreement in the IPO filings. So, why do IPO stocks do very well, especially when they are just entering the market? They do very well because the early investors who have the huge chunk of these stocks will not be able to sell a penny or any of their stock. And because they are not able to sell and more people are buying the stocks, they tend to do very well in the short to medium term. And when you start getting to the medium towards the long term, you start seeing the stocks retracing, some of them losing close to about 50%, some of them losing close to about 70%, some even losing close to about 90%, some even getting to almost pennies on the dollar. So does that mean you should be scared? For instance, if you have bought CoreWeave and you should get out of CoreWeave, that doesn't necessarily mean so. Depending on your strategy, depending on the reason behind why you bought CoreWeave, if you actually bought CoreWeave in the first place, you actually need to understand that IPOs are actually very, 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 very much different from companies that have been in the market for the past 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. IPOs are very, very much different, and you actually have to be very, very careful because many of these companies they've been operating in the shadows for so many years or for a few years. Their books have not been public, a whole lot of disclosures. Even when they try to disclose those things, the reality check doesn't necessarily come in. Many of the things they disclose, there's a whole lot of jargons, there's a whole lot of technical words that they use to disclose these things, and it doesn't get clear to you as an investor. So that's why we've created this community. That's why we've created this channel to educate and to also provide much more information to our viewers and our audience. And we appreciate everyone. So that's what we are going to say about IPOs. Are IPOs back into the market? Yes, definitely yes. IPOs, we expect to see more companies seeing this opportunity, seeing the growth trajectory. We expect to see more companies coming into the market to become a public company. However, in the short and in the medium term, these companies, we expect them to do so well. Some will quickly retrace to the downside. Others will continue to do well in the short and medium term, and in the long term, these companies will actually retrace their steps, because early investors will start selling their stock because they are able to sell it and they are able to get out, or reduce their exposure to that company to the barest minimum of the risk they can hold. That's why I'm inviting you, join our community, join our premium community. I'll drop the link to this video so that you can get more information on how you can join it, so that we share ideas about companies that are either in the IPO stage, they've been in the market for a while, or they are actually in the phase of growth. So I will drop the link. As you can see, the link also, the link to the video where you can get more information to join the community is on the top, as you can see. And also to this video, I will also drop the link in the description part of this video. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think about IPO stocks? Are you looking to buy any of these stocks? Put the link, put your feedback in the comment section of this video. Also, you can send us direct messages on any of these social platforms: on X, Stockertim Live; on TikTok, Stockertim; and on Instagram at Stockertim Live. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, keep investing and keep growing. Take care and bye bye.